understand when people say, I'm better off alone, or I avoid people. And I've made a video on that for me, it's actually exactly the opposite. I don't avoid people. And if you want to hear more about that, I'll be linking the video on top. This is a follow-up video where I want to talk about the difference between solitude and isolation, because this comes up again and again in my comments. So let's talk about it and really differentiate. Is it solitude or isolation? And how can we reconnect with life? Hi, I'm Rose. Welcome if you're new here, and welcome back if you've been following my content. On this channel, I share my personal experiences together with small exercises and practices that you could include in your life very easy. Let's dive in. When you're alone, what describes your experience best? I enjoy the peace and quiet. It's refreshing. It depends on my mood or situation. I feel lonely and disconnected. I rarely spend time alone. This is a small YouTube poll I posted the other day on my channel. And the answer you give to this can already point you in the right direction. Solitude. It's the times we choose to be alone. It feels good to be alone. It's not empty. It doesn't feel empty. It feels full. Like an artist that pulls back, that retrieves. And we're all artists in a way, mastering the art of living our life, aren't we? And so at times we need to pull back and reconnect with ourselves, with our values, with what we feel inside, to be able to really deeply connect with our own self, our higher self, our lives, and the people around us. Isolation feels pretty much the opposite. It feels empty. It feels like it's not nourishing. It can even show specific psychological or emotional needs that we are not taking care of. And this needs to be taken seriously. And we should take all of these seriously and really take good care of ourselves and our needs. So when it's solitude, it feels like we have made our own choice and we feel clear and alive. And when it's isolation, it can feel that we did not choose this ourselves. We kind of like landed in this situation and we don't feel clear. We may feel troubled or sad or depressed or just simply lonely. We may even feel like we're cut off or excluded. The results of two states that on a first glance can look somewhat similar are very different. Solitude, after a period of solitude, we come back feeling more alive, like rested. Our inner peace has expanded. While against times in isolation, we feel maybe even anxious, stressed, and maybe even empty up to a state where we feel purposeless. Isolation is a symptom. It is never a solution. Now, of course, living with other people means we will get hurt. Honestly, I believe that is a fact. It's a fact of life. we will all be hurt sooner or later. Some of these painful experiences can even lead us into trauma. And some of these traumas are so deep and so heavy that we cannot solve them by ourselves. We can always seek professional help if we need it, and we should. Because staying in a hurt and painful place will just disable us living our very best life. The time span that we're given here is really short. And yes, we can't always get what we want, specifically not out of other people. Studies show that people that have good personal connections live longer and healthier and happier lives. And I want to read this card to you where it says, we need 4 hugs per day to simply survive. We need 8 to live a good life, and 12 hugs to grow. And this is written by a writer called Virginia Satir. I hope I pronounced her name right. Thinking of my own life, I was deeply traumatized in my childhood, and I've spoken about this in many videos on this channel. If I would have stayed there, not seeking professional help, not trying to deal with all of those pains, I would have led a very, very different life from the one I'm leading now. The one now is truly peaceful and happy and fulfilled. That doesn't mean I don't get hurt anymore or I misjudge people. I still do. Honestly, I still do. I'm 60 years old and I still sometimes trust the wrong people. I do. Sharing too much personal things of myself and being disappointed or hurt afterwards. And yet, I believe going through life with an open heart is the only way, the only good way you can lead a good life. And I think learning how to deal with pain, with hurt from the outside is something that is really worth learning or developing more skills around it. And it's an ongoing process. Of course, it's never finished. So let me ask you, do you have the type of social connections that you really want to have in your life? If your life is good as it is, great for you. I'm happy for you. Every satisfied and content person on this planet will help us keep the peace. However, if there are needs that are or were not met yet, I think you may still have options that you could explore. And if you want to explore more or better connections, then let me give you a couple of ideas. Something I have done many times and still do is I take up a class. I learn a new skill. It enables me to interact with others and also learning something new. Sharing an interest, learning something new is something very exciting, and it's a lot of fun meeting new people. Yes, I know many of us do this online, so do I, but I can also really recommend getting out of the house. It's a different level of connection. So online, I think, doesn't catch everything. And then think of the hugs that we can share with each other when we see us face to face. Another idea is to just have nice personal interactions when you're in a shop, in a store, when you're out in a cafe, whoever's serving you, whoever you're interacting with, being kind and nice and gentle, and maybe even making a compliment on something that the person is wearing or doing or taking really good care of you. I think it's a very human thing to do, is to say thank you and to acknowledge the good things that we see in each other. Maybe you want to revive some of your past relationships, people that you've lost out of sight. And this happens to all of us. Our lives change and we may move, we may be somewhere else and just lose hold of each other. Sometimes it's really nice to reconnect and catch up and just take up the thread where we once dropped it. And my last tip is, if you feel isolated when you're alone and it's just not possible to connect with anybody currently in this moment, then fill that moment with something that nourishes you. This could be something creative, a hobby, anything that you truly enjoy. Or go outside, visit a park, do something that nourishes you, that calms you, that just simply feels good. Feeling lonely also comes from how we interpret our time alone and how we actually spend it. Loneliness often hides behind silence. If you feel lonely, open up about it, acknowledge it as a first step, and then really come up with small steps that you want to do to get yourself out of that. My topic next week will be connected to this one. I want to talk about the illusions that we all create for ourselves and others in relationships, and also the implications that has on our lives and how we can actually get out of it. I hope you found some value in this video, and if you did, I'll be happy if you leave me a like and a comment. Thank you for being part of this YouTube journey. I appreciate you, and I'll see you soon.